Do you know what's really cool about folktales? Folktales are stories that started out with people talking and telling each other the stories. And a lot of folktales were told so long ago that nobody really knows who started the story in the first place. Many different cultures and lands tell similar stories, and nobody really knows where they started. And each time someone tells a story, it comes out in a different way. Now at the library, we have different versions of folk tales because different authors like to tell stories in different ways. There are many versions of the Three Little Pigs. One of the best known book versions is written by Paul Galdone. Paul Galdone was born in Budapest in 1907. And it's 2020, so this was 113 years ago he was born. He's not alive anymore, but he wrote a beautiful version of the story of the Three Little Pigs. Now this version is longer than most of the other ones you'll hear, but it goes through the meadows. The first little pig buys straw, and the wolf blows it down. The second little pig buys wood and builds his house, and the wolf blows it down. And the third little pig buys bricks, and he builds a strong house, and that old wolf just can't blow it down. So the wolf tries to trick the pig into going out, and he does all sorts of different things, but the pig outsmarts him every single time. And that is a fun version of the Three Little Pigs. Well, there's also other versions. We have this version here, and this one's very silly drawings, and it's illustrated by Mei Matsuoka. Oh, sorry if I don't pronounce that correctly, but she retells the stories with some beautiful drawings. There's also another version here, the Three Little Pigs, and this is a pop-up version. So we don't have this one for checkout in the library because it wouldn't survive very long. You know, we have lots of little kids that don't know how to handle books very well. So there's also different versions that have been written about the Three Little Pigs. Well, the fun thing about a folk tale is that you don't have to tell it the same way every time. There's a version written by Ken Geist and illustrated by Julia Gorton called The Three Little Fish and the Big Bad Shark. So she took the story of pigs and turned them into fish, and she turned the story of the wolf into a shark, and all of a sudden, instead of being on land, the story's under the ocean. Then there's another story called The Three Little Aliens and the Big Bad Robot. So now, instead of three little pigs on land, there's three little aliens in space, and instead of the big bad wolf, this author has created a giant robot. And Margaret McNamara wrote the story, and Mark Fearing did the illustrations for this book. And then one of my favorite versions is The Three Little Gators, and it's told by Helen Ketterman and illustrated by Will Terry. And the little gators are afraid of the big bottom boar. And this story is written in the deep south and on a riverbank. So instead of being in a field or farmland, this one's written in a riverbank. In addition to changing the location of the stories and altering the characters, but the main path of the story remains the same, sometimes people write silly versions. And this one is the story of the Three Little Pigs as told by the wolf. So what if the wolf was telling the story instead of the Three Little Pigs? Would it sound the same? Something to think about. Now, I'm going to show you how I like to tell the Three Little Pigs story using flannel pieces or felt pieces. And then I would like for you to come up with an idea to tell your story. When I ran this program with a group of second graders a bunch of years ago, they came up with the three little students and the big bad teacher. Silly. And then one of them had the three little cars and the big bad tractor. So there's all kinds of ways that you could rewrite a story of the Three Little Pigs, that folk tale, and tell it in your own words. Now, here is how I tell the story of the Three Little Pigs using my felt board. I have a big piece of felt that I have clipped into a quilting circle, and I have made some little pigs made out of felt, and now I can tell my version of the story of the Three Little Pigs. Once upon a time, there were three little pigs. The first little pig, he liked to dance and play and be silly all day. So when he went to build his house, he built it out of straw. He was able to just tie a bunch of pieces of straw together and drape it around and tie it up, and boom, he had a quick house, and then he could run out and play and do anything he wanted. The second little pig, he said, you know what, that straw house was fast to put up, but you know what, I bet it's not going to be very strong in some high winds, and who knows, so I think I'm going to build myself a nice wooden house. So he built his house out of some logs, and he pounded nails in, and he added some glue and some tar and got everything all stuck together, made himself a nice sturdy wooden house. And he said, this isn't going to blow away as easily as that one in a windstorm. I think I'm good. You want to join us? Well, the third little pig said, nope, I want a house of bricks. And the other two little pigs said, why do you want to do that? That's a lot of work. And this little pig said, because if I build my house of bricks, I don't have to worry about wind. I don't have to worry about fire burning down my wooden house. I'm going to build my house of bricks, and it'll be sturdy and safe, and that's what I want. So he worked and he worked and he worked, and he built a little fire. See, here's a chimney, fireplace and a chimney, and he lived in his brick house. Back in the woods, there was a wolf. And this little wolf, he ate oatmeal a lot. He didn't really want to eat oatmeal anymore. And he said, I think I'm going to go look for some piggies for me to eat. I'm tired of having oatmeal. So he goes along and I smell a little pig. I do smell a pig. I think there's a pig inside this straw house. So he went up to it and he kind of rattled the straw and he said, little pig, let me come in. And the little pig said, that sounds like the big bad wolf. I don't think so. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin, said the little pig. Ha ha ha, said the wolf. Then I'm gonna huff and I'm gonna puff and I'm gonna blow your house down. All right, can you practice huffing and puffing with me? We're gonna breathe in and breathe out. And we're gonna breathe in and we're gonna breathe out. And the third time the wolf did that, that straw house blew away, and the little pig went, ee! Squeak, 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 knock, knock, knock. Hey, brother, can I come stay with you? The big bad wolf blew down my house. Oh, sure, come on in. Oh, thank you. And so they rested there, and the big bad wolf came along. He says, I lost my dinner, and I'm getting hungry. So he walked along and, I can smell pig again. Oh, look. here's a wooden house. I think there's pigs in there. So he knocks on the door. Because wood doors, they make that sound. And he said, little pig, let me come in. And the two little pigs said, not by the hair of our chinny chins. And the big bad wolf said that I'm going to huff, and I'm going to pluff, and I'm going to blow your house in. And the little pig said, he said bluff instead of puff. And so the big bad wolf took a big breath. And he couldn't blow the house down the first time. And he took another big breath and he went. And the second wind didn't blow the big house down, the wooden house down yet. And the little pig said, uh-oh, the wood's starting to creak. So as the wolf was taking another big breath, they raced out the back door and they went over to the house and they said, hey, brother, can you let us in? The big bad wolf's trying to knock our house down. And sure enough, this time when the big bad wolf went, that wooden house blew down. He said, hey, where'd my breakfast go? I don't know. What am I going to do? So he walked along. Well, the little pigs in the brick house, oh my goodness, they said, let's run around, shut all the windows. So they shut the doors and they shut the windows and they closed everything up nice and tight. And the wolf said, I thought I smelled some piggies. Well, just then, the fire made some air blow out the chimney, and the wolf smelled it, and he said, I smell lots of piggies in that brick house. Wolf said to the little piggies, they knocked on the door. Little pigs, let me come in. And the little pig said, not by the hair of my chin chin chin. And the wolf said, well, I'm going to huff, and I'm going to puff, and I'm going to blow your house in. Nothing happened. So he breathed in again. And nothing happened. So he breathed in again. And nothing happened. And the little brick house was just fine. And the big bad wolf said, I guess I'm going to have oatmeal again. Dunk, 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 dunk. And he ran away without his little piggy breakfast. Now, here's where I ask kids, what do you think that wolf could do if he wanted to get inside that house? Well, they've shut and locked the doors and they've shut the windows. But you know what? They didn't block up the chimney, and he did smell the piggies for coming out of the chimney. So he would try to get in the windows. Nope, no luck. And he tried getting in the back door. Nope, no luck. So he went upstairs to the chimney. He says, I'm going to go down the chimney. And the little pig said, guess what's going to happen if he goes down the chimney? What's at the bottom of the chimney? The fire. So the wolf climbed down the chimney. He landed in the fire, and he ran out the front door singing, my biscuits are burning, my biscuits are burning, ow, ow, ow. And he ended up having to have oatmeal anyway. So that's how I like to tell the story of the three little